Welcome back to Coffee Chats with Chett. In this video, I'm sharing a blog that I just wrote. It's asking a pretty big question. The question is, how will you measure your life? So this post is inspired by this book by the late Clayton Christensen called How Will You Measure Your Life? And so I was gifted this book on two separate occasions and two different times in my life by two different mentors. And I would say the first time that I read this book, the first half of it really stood out to me, and it talks a lot about career motivation and what motivates you and how honing that in can really help you lead to a life of happiness and fulfillment. The second time I read it, it fundamentally shifted how I prioritize my time. Being the well-acclaimed business academic that Christensen is, he rightly uses parallels between business and personal life all throughout the book. And one of the questions that he asks readers to think about is thinking about what are your finite resources that you have in order to invest in the various different personal businesses in your life. So as an example, these finite resources could be talent, energy, wealth, and time. And then he asks the readers to think about what are the personal businesses that you have in your life. And so these businesses could be things such as a relationship with your spouse, raising children, your career, and community. And then he asks a pretty big question around how much are you allocating your finite resources into your personal businesses? Christensen does a lot of reflecting throughout this book, and one reflection that he shares is looking back on his former classmates and assessing some of the ones that he would say seem very unhappy. And he concludes in the book that he believes that these people unsuccessfully allocated their resources to the right things. He states they prioritized things that gave them immediate returns, such as a promotion, a raise, or a bonus, rather than the things that require long-term work, the things that you won't see a return on for decades, like raising good children. For Christensen, he wanted to come up with a metric to help guide him in making sure that he is in fact putting his investments and resources into the right things. And so for him, he ended up taking a step back and came up with this conclusion. He states, I've concluded that the metric by which God will assess my life isn't dollars, but the individual people whose lives I've touched. And so he used that as a North Star throughout his life so that he could use that as a way in which to decide whether or not to pursue an opportunity or not. And what I really love about this is that it allows you to really zoom out, think about the big picture, and really start to think about what your life means, what you want it to mean, and the impact you want to have. All right, so I have 3 questions for you this week, and they really build on one another. The first question, what are the personal businesses that you are growing in your life? Number 2, how are you currently allocating your finite resources towards them? And 3, this is a fun one. I want you to take a step back. I want you to think and pretend that you're 80 and you're looking back on your life and you are the ultimate judge as to whether or not it was successful. What is one metric that you want to measure as to seeing whether or not it was in fact successful? Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. If it provided you with any value at all, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday for more learning, growing, insights, and of course, coaching. Have a great week.